Hey everybody, welcome back in to Sports Live in the 215. I'm your host, Connor Okuda, here to discuss your Philadelphia 76ers off-season preview. Now, I still believe that the Sixers should not go out and sign a big-time free agent like a Jimmy Butler or a Paul George or someone of that ilk. I believe they should continue building the team the way they did last year. Having good complementary role players around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey put the number 2 seeded New York Knicks on the ropes. And they along with all the other role players beat a very talented Miami team that went to the finals, I want to say 2 times in the last 4 years, or when they at least went to the Eastern Conference Finals 1 time or 2 times in the last 4 years. So they beat a very talented Miami team and came what am I trying to say? They came super close to beating the number 2 seed. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, like I just don't believe that this Sixers team really needs a star player to push us over the top. However, if they were going to try and acquire a star player, here's the one gentleman who I think they should acquire. And if I was Daryl Morey, this is the contract I would offer this player. So the player is Jimmy Butler. Reason being, he's incredibly clutch. He loved playing in Philly when he was here for half the season in 18 and 19. And he still feels like he should have never left. So from that instance, I believe, or from those things I just mentioned, I believe the signing could be a home run. Here's where I believe some drawbacks could be. Here's what I believe some drawbacks could be. He's 34, so he's very injury prone. Sixers fans saw that serious knee injury, and I just don't know if at 34 he would be able to bounce back and be even 50% of the same Jimmy Butler that we saw when he was here 5 years ago. Man, 2019 really does not feel like 5 years ago. But hey, I guess it is. But also there's the team, there's the, how can I put this? There's how he is in the locker room. Like he just seems like a guy where if you get his personality and he gets yours, he will freaking rock with you. But if you don't, he will verbally just he will verbally just eviscerate you, whether it's at practice or in front of the media or even in the middle of a game. I mean, obviously there were no reported incidents between he and 2-5, but you could just tell their personalities did not mesh. Whereas he and Joel Embiid, they fit together like a hand in a glove. So it all depends what kind of personalities Daryl Morey brings in around Joel Embiid, or brings in addition to Jimmy Butler, to put around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Um, a, and I just don't see a scenario where signing a 34-year-old to a contract at this point in his career, coming off a knee injury, is the right move. But that's why I'm on a podcast and Daryl Morey is making the big bucks, being the president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, and before I forget, if I was Daryl Morey, and this is the absolute highest I go for Jimmy Butler, 4 years, $90 million. Reason being is if he takes the deal, you'll still have enough money to sign your depth guys, your Buddy Hields, your Cameron Paynes, your Nico Batums if he doesn't retire. So that's the absolute highest I go on Jimmy Butler is 4 years, $90 million. Because by the end of that contract, he'll be 38, and like I mentioned, we don't even know if his health will hold up. So, I mean, you sign him to a $90 million deal, and you're hoping and praying that his health holds up, but you really just do not know. And for me, the thought of not knowing about a $90 million about a $90 million contract player not knowing about their health at 34 is it's enough for me to kind of pause and say I'm out, because not only is he injury prone, not only can he be a team cancer, but in all of sports, a player's prime only lasts so long. And if you sign Jimmy Butler to a 5-year, $90 million contract, you're probably only getting prime Jimmy Butler for one of those 5 years. And I don't think that's enough of a risk for me to take. But Daryl's gonna do what Daryl's gonna do, and we just have to kind of sit back and pray he doesn't screw anything up. Which he's a good GM, but the way he deals with players, it's not something that I have a tremendous amount of confidence in. Like, I remember I saw a clip of the Pat Bev podcast with Roan from Barstool Philly, and Pat Bev literally found out on his podcast. He's on camera when he finds this out. He finds out he gets traded to Milwaukee after Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey said to his face, "Yeah, I'm not trading you." So it's like the guy really just doesn't he doesn't know how to deal with players. I think he just sees them as statistics. And I know he's very big in the analytical world, but you can't look at human beings exclusively as analytics or as stats. They're they're people with like complex emotions and different backgrounds, and you have to kind of treat them as people and not just as commodities. I mean, yes, obviously they're commodities, but you can't exclusively view them like that. You need to kind of get to know them more on a human level. But I do get it. You don't want to do it too much because you don't want to impact. You don't want any personal relationship to impact any potential moves you might make. So so I get why Daryl doesn't necessarily um, develop develop personal relationships with his players, but I just think that he should maybe try to develop more of a personal relationship with his players, so he doesn't come off as the cold calculating um, analytics guy um, that some of the players that played for the Daryl Morey organizations, both the Rockets and the Sixers, might see him as, which is which it's not the best look to have your GM just be this cold, almost robotic figure. Like, I believe Daryl Morey he needs to do a better job of valuing the player, but also valuing them as a person and not just a commodity. I mean, yes, obviously they're commodities. You get it, but it's just something that Daryl has got to work on, and I really hope he does. Um, anyway, another plus of a potential Jimmy Butler signing is he'll be able to mentor Tyrese Maxey. He'll, he'll be able to continue to play with Joel Embiid, and he'll be able to really like craft or really like put his imprint on the Philadelphia 76ers roster. And yeah, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, and we end up signing um, we end up re-signing Buddy, Cam, Nico, and all the guys we brought in last offseason, then I'm cool. Like I'm pretty much good either way, but I have much more reservation if we do sign Jimmy Butler. With that being said, it should be a fun and interesting offseason for your Philadelphia 76ers, and trust the process.